Hi guys, and welcome back to the Big Sew Along. I'm Ginny, and as always, I thank you so very much for choosing to spend a little time with me. Today, you will notice I am wearing my casita dress from Cris Wood Sews. I have to say this has been in pretty heavy rotation considering I've only had it for about a month, and I'm really loving it. Yeah, I just keep wanting to put it on. It's the color and the linen and the shape and everything. And that brings me to my next topic, which is, I had a few comments from last week that I wanted to talk about with you guys here. We were, I was talking about my cobalt blue Matchy Sewing Club collage gather dress. It's a lot to say. Last week, and I had made that in the cobalt blue linen I had in that video was a Merchant & Mills fabric that I got from Oak Fabrics in Chicago, and I did get a couple of comments on the linen in particular, but mostly I wanted to say that Melanie commented that she has used a lot of Merchant & Mills linen, and she had various experiences with it. So if you guys are interested in seeing and hearing her full opinion, just check the notes from the comments from last week, because I found her comments really interesting. I wanted to say that this particular linen is, I purchased from Mart Fabrics. It is, I think the color of this is called Watermelon. It is a little bit of a thicker or heavier weave than the Merchant & Mills. It is very smooth. There are no slubs in this, and I'm pretty sure that this is one of their Italian linens. Not 100% though. This, however, like I said, I've worn several times, so it's been washed several times, and it seems to be holding up great. So just a little linen update for you guys. Let's see, what else did I want to say about the collage? I always want to say the collage gather top. It's the collage gather top. A couple of you asked why I didn't just buy the collage gather dress pattern. Yeah, because it wasn't available when I purchased my pattern. They had a collage gather dress, and then they top, and then they had another dress, and I can't remember what that one's called, but it didn't have the vertical seams, and it didn't have the gathering just on the sides. The other dress they have is like a straightforward bodice, and then it gathers all the way around, and I didn't want that. I wanted with the just the gathers on the side, so I got the collage gather top and turned it into a dress. And by the time I actually got around to sewing it, they had come out with the collage gather dress pattern. So as it happens, right? If you like the dress, just buy the dress version, because from my understanding is that they got a lot of requests for a dress, so they came out with the dress pattern. So it should be the same. Just it comes with three different length variations. Along the same lines, Jen had a couple of comments last week. One was that she would like to have a tutorial for a boat neckline a la Daniela Gregis. So I'm going to show you a couple pictures here. Hopefully they'll show up on my phone because I was having trouble earlier. Daniela Gregis, to me, has a couple of different boat necks. She has something like this, which is really like a, I don't want to say a split neck. It's a straight neck, like straight across. So it comes up pretty high, like this. To me, a boat neck looks more like this one. And of course, the one I have in here. Although this is pretty high too, so it might be the same thing. And I have one other one here. This hot pink top is, it looks like it has a wider neckline that drops down a little bit, almost like a square, like this one, only a little bit wider. And in any case, yes, I am going to do it. I will do a quick tutorial on changing the collage gather top to a boat neck. Jen was curious to know if it would be difficult to do, just because there is that vertical seam in the top, and it's not. So I will show you guys hopefully next week how I do that. The other thing Jen asked about was this fabric that I bought. I think I got this over the winter when I was having an ECOT moment. Do you guys remember this? It looks really black on my screen. And it is black, but it's sort of almost like a fadey black. It's not quite gray, but like more like a faded black. And it has this really cool patterning in the white circles. I originally, so Jen asked what I was going to do with this because she remembered this fabric. I originally purchased this to make the origami skirt from the sewing workshop. And after I made the first one of those, I decided I really didn't want to make another one of those. It was a little complicated for me, and it was more complicated than I like in my skirts, like our pant garments. Also, I've worn that a couple of times, and it's not really that comfortable, and that is down to the waistband being too high for me. I'm gonna at some point have to change that. I just haven't done it yet. But in any case, I didn't want to make another one. So then, after I decided I wasn't gonna do that with this fabric, I thought maybe I would use it to make a pair of Inca pants from Specs and Keepings. And then I made the Inca pants and wasn't that fond of those. So now I'm looking for something else. I actually think that I will probably use the Nihalam pants pattern from Sew House 7 to make these. That is currently my plan. We'll see how it goes. I haven't made those pants before, so I'm going to make a pair and see how I like them. And if I like them, I will use this fabric for that. I have plenty of this fabric. I think I have 2.5 or 3 yards, so I could use it for something else, like a dress or something. Not really. I mean, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I haven't been so crazy about wearing black lately. I feel like it looks a little harsh now that I'm a little older. I don't know. I've always been a big black and white fan, so maybe come fall I'll feel like wearing it again. But right now I haven't been into it, and this is a very summery fabric, so we'll see. What else? Okay, so I haven't made the Nihalam pants from Sew House 7. I do have that pattern, and I want to say it was probably Jen who asked me about that, and now I can't remember. But anyways, I have that pattern. But this week I was looking around, and I was looking at a bunch of patterns that I have really had my eye on for a long time. But they're all from pattern companies I haven't used, even though some of you guys have suggested some of these and others I just found randomly. So I thought I'd put a few of my favorites up here, and you guys can tell me if you've used any of these patterns or any patterns from any of these designers. You can let me know what your experience was. If you haven't, but you're interested in seeing some of them made, let me know that too. I'd be really curious. So the first one is Tobias Konrath, and his company is called Tropical Research. This first dress here, you'll see these first two designers, why I'm so into them, because they look very much like my thing. The first one is this dress called the Aria dress. It's a very full dress. It looks like the bodice is the bodice is definitely full, but it's got like a lot of fullness through the skirt, and it's got these fabulous looking sleeves on it. You could also hack that from another pattern, but this baby doll dress I really love because it has that like high umpire seam. It goes over the bust, and the sleeves are grown on to a point, and then there's an addition for a long sleeve. And then this other one, which is called the puffy dress, and this is just a hugely exaggerated 2-tier dress, and I really like the look of that too. Along the exaggerated lines, the next company is called Hubba Ding. This first pattern is called the Faye dress. I have seen similar. My air conditioner is going to go on now. I'm just going to talk louder and hope it doesn't bother you too much. The Faye dress, which is again like a tiered dress. This one has like a poofy kind of sleeve, and like a flat, like, I don't know how to say that. The bodice pieces are straight. They're cut at an angle. Anyways, take a look at that and see what you think. She also has this really cute little top. I think this one is called Sophie. It's another fuller bodied top. This one has a tie neck and a gathered sleeve, but it also comes as a dress. It's got like that sort of antique poet shirt vibe. The third one, again, from her, this looks a lot like the Tobias Konrath. It's called June. It has a V-neck, and the bodice, again, is oversized but not huge, and then the skirt part is really, looks like it's really oversized, like heavily gathered. I love that. So this next company is called Sew Me Something. They're out of the UK. This first top here is called Marie. It's similar in style to this casita dress, but obviously it's a top, and I think that's got a fuller back that curves down a little bit. Again, not a terribly hard hack, but I've never sewn anything from this company, so I thought I would look at that. And then the next one is called Angelica, and that one is, let's see, I think that's another tier dress. Sorry, I lost my photograph, so now I have to look it up. Okay, so that one is a dress that has two long tiers. The bodice is a little bit more fitted, and it's got more of a boat neckline, and it's got those sleeves that sort of fold over the front, so the back comes over the front a little bit. And this one also buttons up the back. And then they have this really cool, I guess it's a shirt called the Hippolyta. Is that how you guys say that? I think that's an ancient goddess, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I love the architectural lines in this. This is probably something I would look more at for early fall, but I love the lines in this. So then the next one is By Hand London, who's been around forever. And I shouldn't say that I haven't sewn anything from By Hand London, because I did once upon a time sew a muslin of their shirt, but it was so long ago, I can't remember. I really almost don't remember anything about it. When By Hand London first came out, I bought 2 or 3 of their patterns in hard copy format, and I couldn't get them anywhere in the US, so they sent them to me from the UK. I remember it took forever for me to get them. I was super excited to get them, and then of course by the time I got them I was on to something else. So I believe I gave those away, but this, okay, so they have this, another sort of poety looking shirt called the Lauren. Probably not that much different than the other one, so don't need them both, but I really like this one. They also have the Leo dungarees, which I have seen around on the internet, like mostly on Instagram in the last few months. But they also now have a Leo dungaree pinafore dress add-on, so that looks really cute too. The next company I'm looking at is called Trama Patterns, T-R-A-M-A. When you put it in your search bar, Google wants you to look up trauma patterns, so beware, it's not that. There's no trauma here, it's all Trama Patterns. I found this company on Etsy. The first one here is called the Etta blouse, and again, this just has a lot of architectural lines in it that I think are really cool. I think you can make this in a ton of different fabrics too. So this next one is called the Liston smock dress, and it looks to me like it's just a pullover dress. It's got more of a scoop neckline. The sleeves on this are grown on sleeves. They're almost like a cap sleeve. And then it's got a gathered skirt, but not an overly gathered skirt, not like the Tobias Konrath and the Hubba Ding ones. And then the last one I was really interested in from her is called the Noah dress. Again, this is just like a really interesting shape. It looks like it has some darts here at the neckline and maybe somewhere down below. They also have this in a jumpsuit, but I love the look of this pattern. Next up is Vivian Shao Chen, and I know that you guys will probably be familiar with her pants, and the name of those pants eludes me at the moment, but I've seen them a ton of times on Instagram or Facebook and stuff. Those are very cute pants. I just don't happen to need any more pants right now. That doesn't mean I won't buy the pattern. But this top is a really simple top. It's called the Lawrence top. And it just looks like a really good, basic, easy, wear with everything kind of top. Maybe that instead of the Cutting Line Designs tank that I showed you a couple of weeks ago. This one looks like it's a little bit more cropped and possibly a tiny bit more A-line. They also have, Vivian, Shao, Chen also has the Orchards dress, which again I have seen a ton of, and it's beautiful, very similar to a couple of these others I've talked about. Goldfinch Limited is the next one. Goldfinch Limited, I think, is primarily zero waste, but I'm not 100% sure about that. This top is also called the Lawrence top, spelled differently though. It's one that's really interested me. I think I showed you guys a smock pattern that she came out with not that long ago, a few weeks back, but I've always wanted to try this Lawrence top. The next one is Soft and Studio, and Soft and Studio has this one shirt, it's more like a tunic I think, or a dress even, with like a cutout square in the front, not a cutout square, like a square yoke, similar I think to the Valley dress from Pattern Fantastique, only the sleeves aren't attached to the yoke. There's a, I'm not describing things very well today, guys, I'm sorry. Anyways, I think this one's called the Ade shirt, A-D-E. Not really sure about that either, but I do really like this. I've had my eye on this since I very first came across this company. They also have something called the Rue blouse. Once again, I must be in a poet shirt type mood because I feel like this is sort of similar to the last two poet shirts I was talking about. Okay, the last one is a company called Sewing Man, and I believe that Sewing Man has their own website, but I came across them on Etsy. I have found two really good like shirts or tops from him. The first one is this vintage drop shoulder shirt that has like a really cool collar and it buttons up the back. And then the next one is just called the drop shoulder oversized blouse. It also has more of like a Peter Pan collar, buttons up the front, and this one has like a little gathered sort of peplum sort of thing, but you could make it without that or make it longer or a ton of other things. All of these pattern companies I think have plenty of other things to see that would suit my style in terms of like a more layerable wardrobe. Yeah, so I have not done a lot of sewing this week, which is why I don't have anything to show you. I had a really big alterations project that I just finished yesterday. I did work on my new pair of, what are they called? Fremantle pants from Elbe Textiles. And that I used the newer version of that pattern, the updated version. So hopefully I'll be able to show you guys how those turned out next week. Aside from that, just a lot of gardening. You can see here that Claude has been enjoying his time in the sun while I'm gardening. He's just been hanging out on the porch steps, sunbathing. But I know that some of you guys, specifically Charlotte, have missed seeing what Claude's been up to. So, alright guys, that is it from me this week. As always, thank you again for coming by and spending some time with me. I really do appreciate it. And until next week, I wish you all happy sewing.